If you've ever had a situation in your life where you needed God to intervene, then this story is for you. It is the story of a mother who prayed 23 years until heaven moved. For 23 long years, she was faithful in her prayers. She never gave up even when her children, relatives, and friends started to tell her to stop praying because it was becoming a nuisance to them. But the amazing thing is that God eventually answered her prayers. And not only that, He did it in a way that nobody expected. This is the story of Hannah, the mother who prayed until heaven moved. In those days, there was a certain man of Ramathaim Zorah, of the mountain of Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Joel, the son of Tola, the son of Puah, the son of Dodo, the son of Aser. And he had 2 wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. And one had borne children to Elkanah, but Hannah had no children. This woman, Hannah, was very beautiful. In fact, all the women envied her because she was very beautiful, and her husband loved her so much. But she had one big problem, and that was that she could not bear children. This made her sad because in those days, if a woman couldn't bear children, she was considered a failure. You see, back then, they didn't have things like IVF or test tube babies. So if a woman wanted to get pregnant, she just had to pray to God to give her a baby. But Hannah's prayers were not being answered. And to make matters worse, her husband Elkanah had married another woman named Peninnah, who soon got pregnant and gave birth to a son. When this happened, Hannah became very, very sad. She cried every day because she couldn't understand why God was not answering her prayers. And as if this wasn't enough, Hannah also got pregnant again and gave birth to a second son. This made Hannah's heart sink. She felt like a failure because she couldn't give her husband a child. Every time Elkanah went to the house of Peninnah, Hannah would weep bitterly. Then she would cry out to the Lord and say, "O Lord, remember me and visit me." But Elkanah didn't understand why Hannah was crying. He thought she was just feeling sorry for herself. So he would comfort her and say, "My dear Hannah, don't be sad. You are my only love. Why else do you think I married you?" But these words did not comfort her. One day, Hannah decided that she would go to the house of God in Shiloh to pray. Back then, Shiloh was the place where people went to pray and seek God's help. On the way, she met a prophetess named Hannah, who told her, "Don't be sad. Your prayers have been heard, and your petition will be granted." After hearing these words from the prophetess, Hannah was filled with joy. She thanked God for hearing her prayers, and she knew that she would soon become pregnant. When Hannah arrived at Shiloh, she offered a sacrifice to God and then went home. But to her great sorrow, she found that she was still not pregnant. So she went back to Shiloh and stayed there for a whole year. During this time, she fasted every day and only drank water. And every day she cried out to God and said, "O Lord, remember me and visit me." Meanwhile, when Elkanah went to Hannah to find out why she was fasting, she told him everything that had happened. When he heard this, Elkanah was very angry, and he rebuked Hannah for fasting without telling him. He said, "Why did you do such a thing? I did not know anything about it. If you were not going to return, you should have told me." Hannah replied, "I only did this because I am bitter and angry at myself and my lot." Then Elkanah hugged her and said, "My dear, I know that you are very sad because you don't have a child, but don't worry. God will hear your prayers. You just need to keep asking Him." After Elkanah left, Hannah continued to cry out to God and said, "O Lord, remember me and visit me." Many years passed by, but Hannah's prayers were not being answered. She was still not pregnant. This made her lose hope. One day, while Hannah was praying, she heard a voice that said, "Hannah, why are you still praying? I have already answered your prayers." She couldn't believe what she was hearing. So she asked, "What do you mean? I am still waiting for you to answer my prayers." The voice said, "Hannah, you are already blessed, you have more than you can handle." Hannah was confused, so she asked, "How can I be blessed when I am still barren?" The voice said, "Hannah, look around you and count all the blessings that you have." Hannah looked around and realized that she was surrounded by God's blessings. She had food to eat, clothes to wear, and a loving husband who cared for her. She also had many friends and relatives who loved her. She realized that even though she didn't have a child, she was still blessed. From that day on, Hannah stopped praying for a child. Instead, she started praying for the people around her. She prayed that God would bless them and take care of them. She also started helping the poor and needy. And as she grew older, she became known throughout the land for her kindness and generosity. Many years later, something amazing happened. Hannah's prayers had been answered in a way that she had never expected. She had become a mother, not just to one child, but to two. You see, Hannah's prayers had not been in vain. God had answered her prayers in His own time. But the amazing thing is that God had answered her prayers in a way that nobody had ever seen before. When Hannah was old and gray-haired, her prayers were finally answered. And not just with one child, but with two. This is an amazing miracle, because God had waited for over 23 years to answer Hannah's prayers. You see, Hannah never gave up praying. Even when her family members told her to stop praying because it was making them uncomfortable, she didn't listen to them. She kept on praying because she knew that God would answer her prayers. And in the end, Hannah's prayers were answered in a way that nobody expected. Not only did she get the answer to her prayers, but she also became a blessing to everyone around her. As Hannah watched her sons grow up, she knew that God had answered her prayers. In His own time, He had given her everything she had ever wanted. She was blessed with two wonderful sons who grew up to be honorable men. And she was also blessed with a loving husband who never gave up on her. Looking back on her life, Hannah knew that God had been with her through thick and thin. He had answered her prayers and blessed her in ways she had never imagined. And she knew that no matter what happened in her life, God would always be with her. Friends, Hannah's story teaches us that we should never give up on our prayers. No matter how difficult the situation may seem, God will always answer our prayers. We just need to keep believing in Him. And who knows, maybe your prayers will be answered in a way that you never expected. Hannah never lost faith in God. Even when her prayers were not being answered, she knew that God was in control of her life. She trusted that He would answer her prayers in His own time. And in the end, her trust was rewarded. Her prayers were answered, and she was blessed beyond her wildest dreams. So never give up on your prayers, friends. Keep believing in God and trust that He will answer your prayers in His perfect timing. Friends, what is the longest you have ever waited for God to answer your prayers? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you will be notified whenever we upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.